Hydropower. Hydropower is also called hydropower because people were too lazy to say hydroelectric. It's kind of everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but it is the most used renewable energy source in the world. About 18% to be precise. Now that may not sound like much, because it isn't. Only 29% of global power generation comes from renewable sources, and the rest is non-renewable. However, these percentages are to increase in the following decades. Countries that use hydropower include the United States, China, Brazil, Canada, and more. Now, what exactly is hydropower, and how does it work? Here's a basic visual of the whole process. The water usually starts at a high point and then flows down the tube that's called the penstock. The flow of the water can be controlled by a gate that's in front of the penstock. As the water flows down the penstock, the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. That kinetic energy has enough power to rotate a turbine that's connected to a generator in a powerhouse above the dam. The turbine powers the generator generates electricity, and that electricity is sent off and used for, I don't know, the computer that I'm scripting this on. This method of generating electricity is way more efficient than traditional energy sources such as fossil fuels and coal. Because it's basically kinetic energy being converted into electricity, it preserves more energy and quantity than burning fossil fuels, which can release energy in the form of carbon emissions. But the good thing is, hydropower doesn't release any carbon emissions, and that means that the ozone layer has to deal with a little bit less carbon emissions, which is a very good thing. Well, for the ozone's sake. But just because it doesn't produce carbon doesn't mean that it's entirely environmentally friendly. We'll get back to that later. Tidal power is also inexpensive than most forms of generating electricity. Sure, it might take a few $billion just to get the thing built, but after a while the reliability outweighs the cost. It's kind of like a Tesla, expensive at first, but cost effective in the long run. Now, not all things are heavenly about hydropower. We already covered the cost, mentioning that it takes a massive amount of money to get started. Now onto space. Does this look like a small power plant to you? Well, if you said yes, then you must be kind of blind, because that hydroelectric dam is about 7,700 feet
wide
and 600 feet
tall.
It's the world's largest dam, the Three Gorges Dam located in China. Not every hydroelectric dam is this large, but it does take a lot of space to build a sustainable power plant. That space could have been used for shelter or farmland. Not to mention the time it takes to build one of these things. It takes a fair while. Also, remember when I said that this method of generating electricity is kind of environmentally friendly? Well, that's because even though it doesn't pollute the air, it can disrupt underwater ecosystems. Underwater creatures like fish can't reach the other side because of these dams. This can prevent fish from finding mates, providing offspring, and regulating fish population. You get the idea. The turbines used in the hydropower plant can also reduce the fish population even further by, well, making the fish meet its inevitable fate sooner than expected. So, there you have it. I tried to put all the things I learned about hydroelectric dams in this one short video. I don't actually know if this video is short or not, but I guess that's up to me in post. Because people were too lazy to... The turbine powers the generator, the turbine powers the...